Hello viewers, welcome to UNC Digital class. Today I am going to discuss on a important topic of database system, that is structure query language, or you can say SQL. Okay, let us see. Today learning objectives are introduction of SQL, applications of SQL, SQL process, data types, operators in SQL, constraint used in SQL statements, and the commands used for executing the SQL statements or commands of SQL statements. So, first we will discuss the introduction part of the SQL system. In 1970, the scientist Dr. E. A. Core published the paper, that is the relational model of data for large share of data bank, and in association with this paper of a journal based on the computer machinery is introduced. Okay? And using the Core's model of the language, the structure English query language was developed by the IBM Corporation, and it is pronounced as SQL, that is structure query language. In 1979, Oracle introduced the first commercially available implementation of SQL, and which is accepted by the standard RDBMS language. It stands for structure query language, and it is used for accessing, manipulating the database system. And this SQL statement is used to create, maintain and retrieve data from the relational database like MySQL, Oracle, SQL servers, etc. That is why it needs to learn the SQLs. Okay? Then we will discuss the next part, that is application of SQL. The SQL statement allows to access data in relational database management system, and it is allows the user to describe those data and to define data in the database, manipulating those data we are using by using this SQL language. This SQL language is embedded with other language using some SQL models, libraries, pre-compilers, and it allows the user to create and drop the database and the tables. That means by using SQL we can create a database, we can drop the database, similar process. In similar process we can also create and drop the tables of the database system or relations of the database system. It allows the user to create a view, store procedure, functions in database, those we will discuss in later time, and allow the user to set permission on table and procedure and views. Okay? In this step we will discuss the SQL process, that means how the SQL query will execute. First let me define what is SQL processing. It is the parsing, optimization, row source generation and execution of a SQL statements. And in this step, when user are executing an SQL command for any RDBMS, the system determine a optimum way to carry out your request, and SQL engine figure out how to interpret the text. Let us see how the process is going on. This is the process. In this process, the user will first give the SQL query, then the parser and optimum will check the syntax error or syntactical check and semantic check. Syntax check means that will check the SQL syntax, and the semantic check means that will check whether the statement is meaningful or not. Then in case of optimizer, the optimizer will find out a optimum execution step. That means for executing a query, we have a lot of way through which we can execute a query, but the role of optimizer is to find out the more optimum way to execute a query. Then comes to this step, that is query language processor. The query language processor will translate the query from a high level queries to low level query expression. Then comes to this one, that is DBMS engine. The DBMS engine finally run the query and display the required result. And the next, in this step, the file manager and transaction manager, the role of transaction manager in the query processing is the transaction manager is responsible for creating the transaction object and managing their durability and atomicity. Similarly, the role of file manager in query processing is, it is a software program, that means the file manager is a software program that helps the user to manage all files on the computers. That means we can take one example, that is this file manager allow the user to view, edit, copy or delete files. Okay? Then next is your physical database step. So this is the different steps through which we can execute a SQL query. Okay? Then we will discuss what are the different data types used in SQL statement. These are the following data types and these are the description of the data type. The first is your character, within bracket I am writing n. It means it indicating it is a fixed length, and this character type variable will take character strings with fixed length n. Okay? Then next is your character varying n, that means this is a fixed size character, it will take the fixed size character, and by using this data type, that is character varying, or you can say varchar n, that means it will take character with varying size, that means the size of the character will be vary. The variable length character strings maximum length is n. Okay? The next data type is your binary n, that means the fixed length binary string maximum length is n. The next data type is your boolean, we store the truth value, that is either true or false. Then similarly here you can see the integer p, that means the integral numerical precision p, and it has different types, that is small int, you can see here the small int, then small int, integer, big int, these are the different types of integer. By using integer, the integer numerical precision p variables can store. By using small int, integer numerical precision of size is 5, and similarly integer, here you can see the integer numerical precision 10, big int integer numerical precision of 19. Okay? And next is your similarly the decimal and numerical data types are there. Then next there is some another data types are there, like float data type, which are approximate, numerical and mantissa precision p, real, float, double precision. These variables, that is this data types are, or this type of variables are used to hold those data having some decimal points, that is float, real, float and double precision. And this one is your date, time or time step. This data type variables are used to hold a date type data or a time type data, and these are some others data types are in SQL statements. Okay? Then next we will discuss the SQL operators. These are the operators of SQLs. We know that operator is a symbol which is used to manipulate in between the operands. Okay? In SQL, first we will define the arithmetic operators. The arithmetic operators in SQL are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. The addition and subtraction operator can also be used in date arithmetic also. The next is that means the arithmetic operators are used to manipulate any type of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division operations in SQLs. Next is your comparison operator. This comparison operator is a mathematical symbol which is used to compare two values. We can use comparison operator as greater than, less than, greater than equals to, less than, not equals to, like this. And next is your SQL assignment operator. In SQL, the assignment operator is equals to, which assign a value to a variable or of a column or field of a table. Then it is a very interesting operator, that is bitwise operator. In SQL, the bitwise AND, bitwise OR and bitwise exclusive OR, or you can say XOR operators. These are the bitwise operators. Bitwise AND operator is represented single ampersand, bitwise OR is represented by pipeline symbol, and this is the XOR symbol, bitwise XOR symbols, and the valid data type for bitwise operators are binary, bit, int, small int, tiny int. Next is the logical operators. These operators are used to form the compound statements. These logical operators are those that are true or false, and the logical operators are and, or, not, in, between, any, all, some, exist and like. We will discuss briefly about on this operator with the SQL statements, along with SQL statements in later time. The next comes to your SQL unary operator. The SQL unary operator performs such an operations which contain only one expression of any of the data types in the numeric data type category. This is all about your SQL operators. Then we will discuss the SQL constraints. As we already discussed about the constraint means certain condition or restriction on the data of the database. Here SQL constraints means that are used to specify some rules for the data in the table. Constraints that are used to limit the type of data that can go into a table. That means it ensures the accuracy and reliability of data in the table. If there is any violation between the constraint, we already discussed the constraint violation in our previous video lectures. If there is some violation in between the constraint, if there is any violation between the constraint and the data action, then the action is aborted. Okay, these are the some constraints which will be used in the SQL statements during the creation of the SQL tables. We will mention the constraints as per the requirement. First is the not null constraint. Not null constraint means that ensure the column cannot have a null value. That means if we declare the attribute as a not null, then we can't provide a null value for that attribute for any tuple. Okay. Then next is our unique constraints. It ensures that all value in the column are different. That means, take an example. Suppose we will take as address attribute as unique constraint. That means we must provide all the address value for all the tuples in that relation are different. Okay. Then next, primary key is a combination of not null and unique constraint. Unique, that will be uniquely identify each row in the table, and those attribute constraint as declared as primary, that attribute value must be not null and that should not be duplicate. That means that should be different. Okay. Then next is your foreign key. Foreign key constraint is used to relate two different relation in a table, and that used to uniquely identify a row or record in another table. Then next is your check constraint, which will ensure that all value in a column that satisfy specific conditions. In a student table, we may provide a check constraint in a mark attribute. That means mark is greater than 30. That means each time when the user provide the mark attribute value, then it will check the marks should be greater than 30. In this way, we will specify a check constraint, and we will briefly discuss all these constraints with the syntax of creation of table, that is create command. Then last one is your default, that set a default value for a column when no value is specified. That means if we specify a attribute as default, and if we not providing a value for that attribute for a particular tuple, then it will take the default value which is declared at the time of table creation. So, this is all about your SQL constraints. Next we will discuss the SQL statements. There are number of SQL statements are there, that is data manipulation SQL statement, data definition SQL statements, then data control, transaction and procedure. So, data definition SQL statement means what? The data definition language is used to manage the table and index structure. Okay? The data definition SQL statement or SQL command means the data definition language is used to manage table and index structure, and in data definition we are using these commands, that is create, alter, rename, drop, truncate statements, and which commands are used to name a few data definition elements. Then data manipulation, as we know SQL statements are used to manipulate the database. So, there is some data manipulation commands, and this data manipulation language is a subset of SQL which is used to add, update and delete the data. The next SQL command is the data control. This data control language is used to set permission to the user and group of user when they are accessing and manipulating the data. It means what? Suppose to grant permission anyone, we will use the data control statements or data control commands to execute a particular database or to manipulate the data in the database. We set a data control command. Okay? Then next is the transaction statement. A transaction contains a number of SQL statements. After the transaction begins, all the SQL statements are executed, and at the end of the transaction permanent changes are made in the associated tables. So, this is all about your SQL statements. Then we will discuss briefly what are the different commands are executed under these SQL statements. So, these are the SQL commands. The standard SQL command which are used to interact with the relational database system. First one is the data definition language. The data definition language is basically used to define or used to create a relational table or relational schema. And in this data definition language we are using create command, alter command, drop command and rename command. As we know, the create command is used to create a table or relation in a database. Next is your alter command. That means once we create the structure of a table, if we want to modify that structure, then we can use the alter command. That is the second command of the data definition language or DDL language. The next is your drop command. This drop command is used to delete the object from the database. That means if you want to drop or delete that relation or table, then you can use the drop command or you can use the drop table command. Then last one is the rename command, which is used to rename the object. That means which is used to rename a table or rename a view. For that we can use the rename command. The next SQL command is your data manipulation language. Data manipulation language is basically used for managing data within the schema object, and it is of two types, that is procedural data manipulation language and declarative data manipulation, or you can say that is non-procedural data manipulation language. Procedural manipulation language are what? That require a user to specify what data are needed and how to get those data. Okay? Non-procedural means it required a user to specify what data are needed without specifying how to get those data. In case of procedural, it specifies what data are needed and how to get those data. But in case of non-procedural, it specifies what data are needed, what data are needed without specifying how to get. That means in case of non-procedural, there is no specific order or there is no specific procedure. Okay? Then these are the some commands under this data manipulation language, that is your select command, insert command, update command and delete command. As we already discussed, the data manipulation language is used to manipulate with the database system or used to manipulate with the relations in the database. So, these are the commands which are used to manipulate with the database system. So, select command is used to retrieve the data from the database system. Then next is your insert command. Insert command is used to insert a new row or a new tuple in a relation. That means insert command is used to insert a data to the relation or a database system. Similarly, update command is used to modify the data, the existing data in the database. Then next is your delete command. Delete command is used to delete the row of data or used to delete the data from the database system. So, these are the some commands under this data manipulation language, that is select, insert, delete, update, and we will be briefly discuss about this command in later time. The next we will discuss the next SQL commands, that is the transaction control language. This command is used to manage transaction in database, and these are used to manage the change made by the DML. Okay? That means those DML language are used to manipulate database, and the change which are made by DML language is managed by the transaction control language. It also allows the statements to be grouped together into logical transactions, and these are the commands in transaction control language, that is commit, rollback and set point. Commit command, those changes are made by using data manipulation language to store permanently in the database. We execute the commit command. That means the commit command is used to permanently save any transaction in the database. The next command is rollback. This command is restore the data to the last committed state. That means those are changed and committed. If the user want to restore this data, then again the user execute a rollback command to restore the transaction modifications. Then it also used to set point command to jump to a set point in the transaction, and this set point command is used to temporarily save a transaction so that you can roll back to that point whenever it necessary. The next, the SQL command is your data control language. Data control language is a syntax, is similar to computer programming language and used to control access to data stored in a database, that is authorization. In particular, it is a component of structured query language, and in data control language we will use two commands, that is grant and revoke. The grant command is allowed to specified user to perform some specific task, and revoke command is used to cancel the previously granted or denied permissions. We will briefly discuss along with the syntax and example this SQL commands in next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.